What is up, ladies and gents? My name is Element, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm not going to be talking about video games or Call of Duty or Titanfall or anything of the sort. I'm actually going to be talking about sports, the NFL, and more specifically, the Cleveland Browns NFL franchise. Now, disclaimer, if you don't like any of those things, sports-related, football-related, click away from the video now because this one's not for you. So, anyway. Also, another disclaimer, I don't have any relevant footage to play in the background while I talk about the Cleveland Browns and the NFL draft and what's going on with them right now currently. So this is some old Call of Duty Ghosts gameplay, kill confirmed on one of the new DLC maps that came out in the first DLC packs. I think it's called Bayview. Haven't used this gameplay yet, so it's just there to sort of stimulate your eyes and keep you entertained while I talk about what is known as the Factory of Sadness, the Cleveland Browns. And it's been another roller coaster experience being a Cleveland Browns fan this week. And unfortunately, the direction that they're going in now is straight down to the ground. Like somebody forgot to build that part of the roller coaster where you come down and go back up or make a turn. Somebody just forgot to build that, and it just ends right there. And the roller coaster carts, or whatever they're called, go right into the ground. That's pretty much the direction that the fan base is heading because of what's happened here in the last few days. So let me start off by saying, if you're not familiar with the Cleveland Browns franchise, I am. I live in Ohio. I don't root for the Cleveland Browns. I also don't root for the Bengals, and I also don't root for the Steelers. For whatever reason, they're a third option here in the state of Ohio. I guess it's because they win shit occasionally. I don't know. But I live in Ohio, but I don't root for any of the local teams. You're probably wondering why that is, but that's another story for another day, for another video. I root for the Minnesota Vikings, in case you were curious. I know I shouldn't really be talking about bad teams like the Browns when my team also is really bad, but I admit that they're bad. I don't care. You know, we fucking suck. We make mistakes like drafting Christian Bonder, so it is what it is. But that's another story for another day. But so I don't have any allegiance to the Cleveland Browns. I'm not a fan. I also don't hate them. I find them annoying at times just because of where I live. I always have to soak in the media and soak in the reactions of what they do on a daily basis. So that's kind of how I've been experiencing being a Browns fan the last few days, is that I'm tied into it through the local media. I have friends, family, co-workers, you know, other people in my life that live and die Browns football, for whatever reason, I don't know. I'm going to be making little stabs and punches throughout the whole video, so get used to it. So I've been experiencing Cleveland Browns football throughout my life living in the state of Ohio, and specifically the last few days as the NFL draft of 2014 has been commencing. So the first day of the draft, the Cleveland Browns were looking to make a splash. They had 2 first-round picks. They used the first one on a defensive player who I thought was a really great pick. Some people disagreed with it because they wanted Sammy Watkins, who ended up going to Buffalo, which is what they traded out of. So I thought the first pick was good. I really liked the way that they were building their defense through free agency in the draft this year. It made sense. And then the second pick that they had later in the first round ended up being Johnny Manziel. Now, if you don't know Johnny Manziel, it's kind of hard to describe what his character and personality is like. But coming out of college, his big question mark has been character issues and decision-making off the field. He's one of those guys where you're kind of worried what he's doing after work and before he goes to bed at night. But everybody was really excited for Johnny Manziel to come to Cleveland because in college, he was one of those players that just knew how to win games. He had flashy styles. He made plays happen. He extended plays with his feet. He was an exciting player to watch. I think the only player to win a freshman Heisman Trophy. I don't know. That could be wrong, but I know he did win the Heisman Trophy his freshman year. Very exciting, very good prospect to draft coming out of college. Now, of course, the Browns have had a horrible track record when it comes to drafting quarterbacks. Last two, notably, Brandon Weeden and Brady Quinn. I don't think there was any in between those two. I'm not sure. But anyway, so everybody was excited. They're like, yeah, Johnny Manziel's coming to Cleveland. This is exciting. We got all these pieces. And then yesterday, what comes out in the news is that their best player, Josh Gordon, is facing a season-long suspension for marijuana use. And that was where the roller coaster was like, we forgot to build the rest of the track. Boom, right into the ground. So the Factory of Sadness thing continues with the Cleveland Browns. The best wide receiver I think they now have on the roster is Greg Little, and that's like the worst thing that anybody would ever want to say about their football team, is that Greg Little is the best remaining wide receiver on their football team. So it's been a wild experience going through the last few days, sort of living, you know, vicariously through other people in my area as being a Cleveland Browns fan, and I don't know if they'll ever catch a break. I thought after they drafted Manziel, this could be it, you know, eventually it could work out. But it seems that this team, this city, is just cursed to the end of time, where they are not allowed to have any happiness. They can have it for a little bit, but then it gets taken away from them in an instant. And that's what happened here. The news broke, there was nothing anybody really could do about it, and that they had known about it for a little bit but hadn't told anybody. But yeah, so the Cleveland Browns, once again, don't catch a break. They thought they caught a break, but they didn't, and I just don't know when it's going to end for them. So it's weird. I hope they draft a wide receiver today. So, but you know, thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and have a good day.